I'd like to start by asking each of you to take a moment and think about where exactly you are right now. The answer at first seems simple. We are in the chapel at Appleby College. However, I urge you to dig deeper into the question. As we do this, the answer seems to become slightly more significant. We are sitting in the John Bell Chapel at one of the best high schools in Canada, a country that is renowned for its safety and freedom. Each and every one of us has been blessed with the chance to attend an institution that truly cares about us, and that provides us with countless opportunities so that we can achieve greatness in whatever we decide to pursue. The bottom line is that we are fortunate beyond belief, a concept that is sometimes hard to fully realize. While writing this speech, I couldn't help but to be distracted by the multitude of news subjects that were popping up as my dad was watching TV. For example, fighting in the Middle East has displaced thousands of families from their homes, and the ongoing conflict in Ukraine seems to be showing no signs of an end. Not only are we fortunate enough to be residents in a country that strives for safety, but we are able to attend school each day without worry, a routine that is foreign to many individuals around the world. In fact, it is estimated that more than 71 million children of primary education age are unable to attend school. And of those who do, many have to make large sacrifices or endure significant hardships just to receive the most simple of educations. Each and every one of us has been given a golden opportunity. So the real question is, how will we use what we have been blessed with to make an impact not only in the Appleby community, but on a national or global scale? How will we use our strengths and our gifts to make an impact? How can we use them to do something great? When I first moved into Pole's house, one of the most interesting things were the various pictures placed upon the walls of past students who have attended Appleby. In addition, last year our grade was given the opportunity to study archives of some of the very first students to ever come to this school. Even though the names of these students may sound peculiar, or their hairstyles may be out of date, the reality is that these young men and women were not that different than us. They strolled the same halls as us, lived in similar rooms as us, and many of them probably sat in the exact same place that you are sitting right now. Just like we do, these students showed up to school each day with dreams and aspirations and strived for greatness. They did not wait until it was too late to seize their full potential. I'd like for us to pay special attention to the beautiful windows that we can see all around us. A couple of these, such as this one right up there, are dedicated to Appleby students who lost their lives serving their country in the First World War. These students were not superhumans or trained soldiers. Instead, they were individuals like you and me, many of them being the exact same age, who chose to put aside their personal interests for the greater good of the global community. Now, I'm not suggesting that we must give up our lives or fight in a war, but just like these students of Appleby's past, we have an equal opportunity to make an impact and do something great. But what really is greatness? And how can someone make a genuine impact? Unfortunately, society today makes it seem as though one must be wealthy or have a good job. And when this is accomplished, then you have achieved greatness. Even though there is some truth in that statement, making an impact or doing something great can be as easy as helping another student with homework or giving words of encouragement to a peer who seems to be having a rough day. I once read a true story in a book called Chicken Soup for the Soul about two high school students named Mark and Bill. One day when walking home from school, Mark saw a student who was unfamiliar to him trip and drop all of his books and other belongings. After helping the student to pick up his stuff and learning his name, he invited Bill back to his house to play some video games. Over the course of their senior year, Mark and Bill became close friends and would have lunch together almost every day. A couple weeks before graduation, Bill shared with Mark the real reason that he was carrying home all of his belongings. He planned to commit suicide that very day. And if it wasn't for the compassion of Mark, it may have happened. Without even knowing it, the simple action of helping a fellow student made such an impact that it was the difference between life and death. An individual who has made a significant personal impact for me is Jesus Christ. Even though he lived an extremely humble life with few material possessions other than the clothing on his back, it was his compassion, love for others, teachings, and passion for something greater than life that allowed him to have such an enormous impact throughout history. Jesus was an individual who, in my opinion, achieved greatness due to the sacrifices that he made to have a servant heart and put the well-being of others before himself. If each of us can incorporate that same train of thought into our everyday lives, imagine the positive influence in our community, both within Appleby and abroad. Just recently, the film community suffered the tragic loss of Robin Williams, one of the greatest comedic actors of all time. In one of his most famous movies, entitled Dead Poets Society, Mr. Williams played the role of a teacher who challenged his students with the phrase carpe diem, which translates to seize the day. He suggested to them the importance of doing something great every day and taking full advantage of whatever the day brings, as each one is unique and it's impossible to tell just how many we might have left. I know it may be hard, but next time you may be at soccer practice, savor the suicide runs. Take advantage of the tiresome English essays and try to appreciate the long hours studying for an exam, because each of these things teaches us the lessons and skills that we can use to transform our community and the world. Now, I know it sometimes may be difficult to make a large impact on our own, but look around. We are surrounded by our peers and teachers who we can rely on and support one another in our Appleby community to achieve whatever we may put our minds to. I'd like to conclude by posing a question, similar to the one asked by Robin Williams. What will each of you do today, tomorrow, next month, next year, and for the rest of your lives to have a positive impact on your own life and the lives of those around you? How will you take advantage of the lessons and skills that are acquired each day to achieve greatness? How will you seize the day? Now I ask you to turn to hymn number 436 for the singing of I Bind It to Myself.